I was still this involves assigning a unique identifier to an individual file and capturing key metadata. I talked about key metadata, information about information, data about data. When I talk about Irene, it's not just about Irene. Irene is a Humza. Irene works in registry. Yeah, Irene joined Indeja University around this period of time. So that metadata, when attached to that document, you can easily access that record very fast. You just have to click in one data or one word, and you're able to get a lot of information about somebody, a function, or an activity. Such document, okay, metadata, such as document type. Is it a PDF? The date when it was formed, maybe 27th of January 2026. The author, the person who created this document, and the relative keywords. Other keywords, like I explained. A file index acts like a table of contents. We are still explaining what a file index is. It acts like a table of content or a map or an inventory list for your records, making it easier and faster to find the location of the file or that record that you're looking for. An example of a file index is here below. Oh, okay. This is how a file index could look like. So they will give you a file title, which is academic regulations. I think these academic regulations, we can find them in the academic registrar's office. Then you will see a file reference number that I talked about. So this is an alphanumerical file reference number. It has AR, meaning academic registrar, record number 1. Then creation date. It also shows the date onto which this record was created, 14th of January 2025. Then it also shows location stroke status. Where is this record stored or kept? Cabinet A, cell, shelf A. So you'll find that this file index has A1. A1 means it's cabinet A and shelf 1. So you go to that cabinet A and look for shelf 1, and you're able to retrieve that information or that record or that document or that file that someone is requesting from you. So these are just pictures to show you reference numbers. Now you can look at this. This is a document that was created in 2022. It has a logo, a university logo. Yeah, it has address where this university is located. Then it has a reference number that you can see. It has NDU stroke, meaning this record is from Indeja University. It is from the admin's office, and it is record number 2. Then now this is the information that was in that record. Officer in charge, Indeja police, yeah, then the subject and whatever. So it shows the details that are in the record, making it authentic. This record is authentic because it shows where this record is coming from. It shows a reference number. It shows a date when it was formed, and also the details themselves in here. I didn't finish all of it, but you would have seen a signature somewhere, and also the details within this, which makes it to be authentic. It can be used. It has integrity and all that. Those are things that I talked about in the beginning. And then this is a file. Also, a file has a reference number. So as you can see, this is a file, and its reference number says EST/2/04. So EST in this reference number okay, these I picked them from my records in the registry, central registry. So on my file index in my registry, EST means estates. It means this file belongs to estates. And this file is file number 2 in the estates files that I have. And then it was created in 2004. So this is a reference number. So if someone walked into my office and he needed a file about estates, and this file, maybe he's looking for information about block 244 plot 129 E Buganda Bululi Kakoge. Information about anything concerning that, I can be able to retrieve it very fast. Why? I'll go to my file index and get to know that, okay, then I'll be like, okay, this information, which years, if it talks about maybe 2004, I'll walk to that, to my file, I'll go to my file index, be able to know which cabinet this file is in, and I can easily retrieve this file very fast without taking time for this person. Why? Because I have a file index and all my documents have file reference numbers or document reference numbers. So this is how we label our files for us to be able to access them. So I would like that all this information is transferred to our offices, not only to the records officer, because we need this. Each office needs this. Actually, this thing is even personal. We have files in our homes. We have documents in our homes, medical information, we have financial information, we have land titles, we have car log books. We have all this information. We have bills that we pay in our offices. For us to be able to make good decisions, we need to be able to manage our records properly. Yeah, for you to make decisions in your family, for you to make decisions at your place of work, for you to be able to ease your work, you need to be able to manage your records properly through file indexing, file reference number, proper storage, so that you can be able to locate for every information that you need on time and make timely decisions for your family, for your place of work, for your business, personal business. We need that. It eases our work. So a file index, I also took a screenshot of a file index and I'm able to display it for you here. I hope in case you need more help, you can always come to me. I can always be there to support you in case you want to make a file index for your business, for your office, for whatever it is, so that you ease your work and make your life easier and make good decisions for whatever it is that you're doing. So this is in NDU University. This is one of it. It shows that this file index is for NDU University Central Registry File Index, Administration and Implementation of Issues. This is admin. So you look at, it has a file title, which shows here, for example, NDU University Foundation Consortium. The reference number here is, all these fall under admin. You see, this is admin stroke 1, and it shows the date it was created and also shows the location. Where can I find this file? If someone walked in and he wanted any information concerning NDU University Foundation Consortium, yeah, I'll have to move to this file reference number. And then I'll need to know the date, which period of time that are you looking for, because there are always many documents, and I'll also be able to access it if I moved to that location, to location A1, meaning cabinet cabinet S, section 1. I'm able to retrieve that information and give it to someone without wasting their time, and they're able to make decisions. Then also there's this also type of file index also. This is for personnel files, for files like files about someone. So this is if I wanted to know about Irene and get information about Irene as an employee of NDU University. Someone walks in my office and is like, I need information about Irene. I need to go to my file index and type in Ahumuza Irene or Irene. I'm able to get many Irenes, and then also be able to understand which particular Irene are you looking for, the ones who works in the records office. And then file number, what's her file number? It's located, it's there on the file index. Then I'm also able to know that Irene's file is in this location in this office. So that is basically an easier way of explaining what a file index is. So I emphasize that all of us in our offices, we create file indexes so that they make the retrieval of information easier. So that we have efficiency while doing work in our offices. Then a records access policy. As a university, we have a records access policy, and I think in the future we'll be able to go through the records access policy and get to know who is supposed to access which record, who are those people that are authorized to access the records, how are they supposed to keep it, how are they supposed to use it, and all that. So a records access policy is a framework that outlines how an organization will provide access to its records while protecting sensitive information. Not all information is supposed to go to anyone. Not all information is supposed, some information are kept to a few people, and some can be given to the public. Everybody has the right to access those information. Why? Because if we breach information, we will be in trouble. Yeah? If you do not keep your systems very well, I'll give an example. Maybe these people that the academic registrar office, we have exams, yeah. So if you do not keep that information very well, you will find that students will be able to hack into your system and are able to change maybe their results on your systems. So we need to protect, we need to have passwords, strong passwords, and able to change them frequently so that someone does not hack in, does not breach, and be able to access such information, and can be able even to do what? To change that information and give himself marks that he does not have, maybe give himself results that does not have. So a records access policy is always in place to mitigate such things. Who is supposed to access which database? Who is supposed to access which information? And how are we prepared to protect the information that we have for the university? Same as ICT. ICT does the digits. They do a very important role, like to ensure that our sensitive information is protected. It defines the rights and responsibilities, the rights of the users, yeah, the people who use that information, and responsibilities, who has which responsibility. What is ICT going to play to ensure that our sensitive information is protected? What is the records department going to play to ensure that the rightful people, the authorized people, are the ones that are accessing the information of our university? Then it also, that same policy has put in place staff and the organization itself to ensure that they have fair access, and they also comply with the laws and security of records. Not only the laws of records management, but also we have the government itself that has put in place laws that governs records management. So even as we are operating as a university, as an institution, we also have to abide to the rules and regulations that the government has put in place so that we do not fail and we get fines for not complying to the rules and regulations. When this policy that the university has put in place, a records access policy, it also complies with the records management policy, access policy of the government of Uganda. So for us to be able to operate well and we do not fail and we are given files, we need to be able to have a records access policy in place that complies with the government of Uganda records access policy. Key components include rules for gaining access. The rules that are in place for you to be able to access information. You just don't walk into someone's office and ask for information that you need. There are rules, there are procedures that you have to follow. So these records access policy entails those rules, which procedures you have to follow when you are accessing, when you need to access a record in a certain office. Me as a records officer who sits in a registry, I'm not just going to walk into an academic registrar's office and I'm like, Patrick, I need to know information concerning my brother because he's a student at NDU University. There is a procedure I need to follow for me to be able to get access to those records. Or in case actually I'm even authorized to get those records. So the records access policy entails all that. That this is the path I need to take for me to be able to access information. For every department, we have those procedures that we need to follow to be able to access resources or to be able to even to give out information. It doesn't, because you work maybe in ICT and you have every information about maybe every department, doesn't mean that you're going to misuse that information or use it carelessly or don't put security measures to ensure that you protect this information. For the university, you are liable for misusing information. So the records access policy has been put in place to mitigate and to be able to protect sensitive information and also ensure access compliance with laws that are put in place so that we protect our university from liability that comes with with misusing of information, and also us. If we misuse our information, we are liable. We may be taken for the disciplinary committee. We may lose our jobs for misusing information, for information breach and all that. So, and guidelines for handling different types of records, the records that I talked about. So, records protection and security. What is records protection and security? Protecting our records, basically, and preserving them. Records protection and security refers to the systematic control of records throughout their life cycle. We talked about a life cycle from creation to disposition. That is a life cycle. From creation and maintenance to final disposition while complying with legal and regulatory laws that govern records management. When we are handling these records and trying to protect them and ensuring that they are secure, we need to do all that within the legal and regulatory laws that govern records management, not only for NDU University, but for the government of Uganda. Because we are also accountable to the government of Uganda concerning the records that we keep in our offices. The primary goal is to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We talked about this, that a record has to be confidential, it has to have integrity, and it has to be available for use, whether in physical or electronic formats. We talked about physical or electronic formats, while adhering to legal and regulatory compliance. All this, we need to work within the regulations, the standard operating procedures that the government has put in place for the community, and the standard operating procedures that a university has put in place concerning information dissemination, information protection, concerning records management. We need to be able to work within those means. We do not go out of it, because when we go out of it, we make mistakes and we are liable for any legal issue that arises. So, what are the threats to records security? The records that we have in our offices, on our computers, in our databases, yeah, on our gadgets. What are those threats? What are the things that will lead to breach of information, that will lead to legal issues if we do not comply? What are those things that that lead to loss of information, loss of records, or a record losing its meaning. So one of them is man-made threats. These man-made threats include unauthorized access. Yeah? You leave your office open, you leave your drawers open, you leave your computer. So I don't know. Some people do not have passwords on their computers. Anybody can access their computers. Yeah? Unauthorized access. Anybody can just come onto your computer and is able to log in and access sensitive information. At the end of the day, you realize that the information that we had at Ndedze University is on the streets of Kampala, which is not good. It does not give a good reputation to our universities. Maybe that information is even altered and changed. It's saying different things from the ones that we have. Why? Because we were not able to put security on our computers. We were not able to lock our offices. Our file cabinets do not have keys. We cannot lock. We do not have maybe cameras. We do not have biometrics that we can use maybe to open sensitive offices or sensitive storage areas of information. Data breach. Yeah. Someone goes onto your system, hacks into it, and is able to access information. Why? Because we've not been able to put strong security measures to avoid certain things from happening. Theft. Yeah, someone can break into your office and gets information and he misuses it. Ransomware attacks. Yeah, someone takes information from you and then is asking a lot of money from you. If you don't pay me this amount of money, I'm going to expose you out there. Yeah, I'm going to expose Ndedze University, or I'm going to expose you as a person, or I'm going to expose your business, and you lose a lot of money because we've not been able to put such security measures on our information that we handle in different offices that we work in. Then natural environmental causes. These ones include damage from fire. Yeah, your office can, if maybe we are using things that spark fire, it can catch fire and it burns. Maybe fire from our neighbors can come and invade our offices, and a lot of things that may cause fire. And then we lose information that we may not be able to get, or to, if we've not saved it maybe on other gadgets, we may lose that information forever. Floods. Yeah. Maybe, God forbid, Lake Victoria floods, and maybe we have offices around Lake Victoria in Entebbe, and then all our documents, electronic or physical, they are contaminated, or they're filled up with water, and you cannot get information anymore from them. Pests. Yeah, we have rats, we have cockroaches. We need to fumigate all the time so that we preserve our information from being eaten by pets, rats, and whatever. Then improper temperature and humidity levels. I talked about this. Our storage areas. Usually we have those temperature measuring machines. I've not seen them here, that we can use to measure the humidity, the temperature, and we regulate that temperature so that our documents do not get molds. Yeah, those brown, black things that usually get tinted on our documents, especially paper-based documents, but even electronic documents that, like maybe flashes, hard disks, even servers also, they have certain temperatures and humidity levels that they are supposed to be in, so that to be able to work and all that. So all those things, they have to be in place so that we preserve our information or records. Protective measures also: secure storage using lock rooms. Like I said, you need to lock your offices, you need to lock your storage cabinets, fire resistant, and we are talking about now protective measures. Fire resistant cabinets and secure office site storage facilities. Where are your facilities located? You're not going to have your records, maybe a records office or a storage office, maybe an archival office placed near like Lake Victoria. If it floods, all our records will be destroyed. Fireproofs, you should be mindful where you should be mindful where your office is located. Is it near something that can catch fire easily? Then also access controls limit access to storage areas to a small number of authorized personnel and supervise all external visitors. Someone has walked into your office, yeah? That someone should not access your records without permission. Yeah, they should have a place where they sit, a visitor's place where they're supposed to sit, and they cannot easily access your records. Yeah, you should have a padlock or a biometric, yeah, to limit who accesses records, limiting access to storage areas to a small number of authorized people. We know that it's Patrick who is maybe in the academic registrar's office, and this is what he handles. So maybe it's Patrick who gives authorization to who is supposed to access his records. So not everybody is supposed to access those records, or you have to go through some authorization, maybe through an academic registrar to access a record, or through HR to access a record, or through your manager to access a record. So you need to like write an email, copy in your boss and the other people that are important so that they can give access to you. Like me, if I'm going to ICT and I need something, I need to write to their boss first and copy in maybe my boss. And I'm requesting to go to ICT to get information about an inventory list of the computers that we have on site. Yeah. Or maybe my logins have an issue of my computer, or my email has an issue. I need to write to their boss and also copy in my boss on email so that I can get access to their office. I just don't barge into their office without authorization, because they have a lot of information that they are keeping there that I may not be allowed to access. Environmental controls, implementing smoke detectors. We need smoke detectors in our offices just in case there is fire, so that we can be able to rescue our information. Fire extinguishers, just in case maybe an office caught fire, we can be able to extinguish that fire. Temperature and humidity controls, I talked about those ones. And regular pest control to prevent damages, regular fumigations in our offices, because pests exists with people. So we need to regularly ask the admin to do fumigation of our offices to avoid our documents from being eaten up by rodents or something. Disaster recovery plans, developing and testing plans to retrieve or restore records in case of disaster. Yeah. In case we always need to have that in mind, that anything can happen at any time. So what are the plans that have been put in place to be able to restore the data that is lost, maybe, or to prevent data from what? From losing data. So we need a disaster recovery plan. A disaster recovery plan. This is on a university level, like a Senate level, that it's something that all departments in the university should follow in case such a scenario happened. Maybe a building caught fire, maybe we had a flood, maybe there was a data breach, maybe someone went onto the system and hacked into the system and was able to get sensitive information. A disaster recovery plan is always in place to see how we can mitigate such issues. Then access controls, utilizing passwords. Our computers should have passwords that at least changed every like 3 months. Yeah. Our computers, they should have, we don't need to, like, you've had a password from 2025 or 2024 and you've never changed that password. Your information is at risk of being stolen or being misused. Why? Because you do not change your password. So our password needs to be changed consistently at a period of time. Multi-factor authentication. Like, I'll give an example. It is my computer. For me to access it, maybe I need a password. Then after a password, if it is strong and sensitive information, it may ask maybe for another login or for a facial. Maybe you need your face to be scanned. so that it can confirm that you are the right person, or it will ask you maybe there are certain many things it asks for you to be able to access a record. It's just not about a password. It will request for another thing. There might even be three things. It may ask maybe for your telephone number, it may ask for your name, it may ask maybe if there are biometrics, may ask for your fingerprint so that you can be able to access a record. All that is to preserve information from being misused or lost. And then a role-based access to ensure only authorized individuals can access specific information. So not everybody is supposed to access information. So there would be people that have been put in place, that these are the people in maybe this department that are given rights to access certain information. Encryption and backups. Yeah, encryptions and backups. That is done by ICT. But also you can do it. I'll give an example. If you have documents that are on paper, you can back them up maybe by digitizing them. You can scan them. Scanning is really important for those transactions that you feel they are sensitive and you cannot just have them on paper, but you need to back them up. You can scan those documents to your emails, and then you're able to save them in a file on your computer, or a system that can enable you to upload scanned documents and save them. Digital data and regulating backup electronic records to secure offsite location. Yeah. If someone came and broke into my office and he took sensitive information, or that information maybe was burnt by fire or it was lost through a flood, can I be able to access that information on cloud? Or maybe I might have scanned that information and it is maybe on my Google Drive, maybe it is on a hard drive somewhere. It is not on site where maybe this scene happened. So I can easily access these records that are online. So usually we need to have paper-based. Paper-based is important, but I emphasize that we scan all our records that we know that we might need in future. We need to back them up somewhere. Then system configuration, ensuring computer systems have appropriate security systems, antivirus softwares, and automatic lock features. Yeah, I'll leave it to digits, ensuring computer systems have appropriate security systems. Yeah, there should be an automatic way where the system has to remind us that, Irene, you've used this password within these 3 months. I think you should change it. Then it will give you a notification. Please change your password. Maybe your password is expiring in a week's time. We need you to change your password. And if you do not change your password within that period of time, the system just blocks you from accessing every information on your computer until you make a new password. Yeah, such systems should be in place so that our information is secure and protected. Antiviruses and softwares, those ones help to, antiviruses, they make us lose our information. So there should be an antivirus that is able to protect us, to protect our information from being destroyed or lost. Automatic locks, future, those are things I talked about. There should be an automatic lock. Like when I leave my computer and I walk away for like maybe 15 minutes, the computer just shuts itself down. So that if someone walked into in my office, or even 5 minutes or something, this person has to have a password to be able to open my computer. But there are moments where you can even leave your office and go, and this computer, anybody can walk in and be able to access it without even using a password. Why? Because those automatic locks are not on our computers. Secure destruction. This is when a document has come to the end of its life cycle and we do not need it, maybe according to the time it's supposed to be in our office, it has expired. So there's always that moment where we need to destroy that information. Destroying that information, we should do it in a secure manner. We just don't, because this information now, I'm done using it, I was doing something on it, then I just throw it in a trash can. Someone who is taking away that garbage somewhere may pick that information and you find it on the streets, maybe being used as a pack for chapati, pack for cassava, pack, and then it has Indeje University, but it's being used in a grocery store, which is not a good thing. It doesn't give the university a good reputation. Yeah, so we should secure the destruction of such information. When you are trashing or throwing away a document, you need to trash it. You need to shred it. You need to burn it. Yeah, you just don't get that document. I'll give an example. If it's if there are minutes of a meeting, maybe a disciplinary meeting that we had. Okay, because that disciplinary meeting is finished and maybe a case was like that case, we are done with it. Resolutions were made for that case, and then you decide, let me just put these minutes where in the trash can, and then those garbage collectors come, they pick those minutes and take them maybe to NASA and change certain things that were in that document, and then they put them maybe in a newspaper. Yeah, maybe to shame the university, maybe to show that you guys are not working. People like can malice you. Not all of us have good intentions, so they may choose that information, and you find it in newspapers, you find it on social media. Maybe it is even wrong information. Why? Because we did not do secure destruction. It could be an electronic record. Yeah, you're done using it, and then you leave it on your phone. Maybe it's a picture, something. Someone will pick that picture and misuse it, and your name will be tarnished. So secure destruction is important. You need to ensure that if it is deleting it from your phone, it is a secure deletion. You need maybe to seek people who are expertise in such to be able to help you to delete that information. Even when you're shredding certain information, actually, they're always maybe like security, like police is always there to ensure that that information is completely destroyed and it cannot be accessed by anybody. Ensure deleted electronic records are permanently removed from all storage location. A simple deletion is not enough. You just deleting it from your phone or from whatever location that you have you had stored it is not enough. You have to ensure that this information is completely deleted and nobody can access it. So I come to the end of my presentation, and I want to thank you for listening to me. So the third module is Q&A session. So I'm available for any question that you have so that I can be able to answer, and we share knowledge and we call it a day. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Irene, thank you so much. First of all, I want to send my appreciation to the teams which have participated, the AR's office, the DVCAA's office, Digits. Thank you so much for attending this session. We shall keep on organizing such trainings for our staff. And if you've missed something from what she has presented today, we have another session on Thursday. Shall be handling other departments, but you are not locked out. if you wish, you can still attend, and that will be a recap for you who has attended today. We thank you so much, and God bless you, and keep on sending this message which Irene has shared to all your colleagues who have not been able to attend, but also to take record keeping seriously, as Irene has emphasized, because if we are not careful, we might cause trouble to our institution, but also to our offices and us as individuals. Thank you so much, Irene. God bless you. We can have a closing prayer. Let me pray. Lord, we thank you for the session we've had. We thank you for your servant who has been able to speak to us, give us all the key principles on how we can manage the records in this institution. We thank you for the staff team who have been able to attend. God bless them, bless their hands, and bless their stations where they are stationed to serve you in this great university. We thank you, Lord, and we put this week into your hands, even for the session we shall have on Thursday. We put it into your hands to be a success, but also as an institution to prosper. We've prayed believing in your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So we can leave the meeting.